everybody, to Command Combat Battle Reports. Today we are going old school with an older game called Armati. Yes, it's an old school game with old school players. It's going to be the Ottomans versus the Hussites and the Moldavians. The Moldavians are most noted for their leader Vlad the Impaler, of whom Dracula was partially based on, or at least the name was taken from him. Anyway, the figures are painted mostly from Vlad the Impaler's army. Let's take a look at them. They have a lot of heavy cavalry with some crossbowmen, and a lot of their melee infantry is really light, almost more just villagers who like to pillage things. And of course their commander is Vlad the Impaler. Let's hear from their commander.
I'm Jeff MacArthur, I'm a history writer, and I've been gaming for decades, and I'm playing Vlad the Impaler, and he is commanding the Moldavian army. It's his cousin Stephen's army, apparently that's what he ran. Actually, my partner is the expert on Vlad the Impaler, he even has the shirt to match for it, but I got the hat, so I am going to be playing Vlad and his army, or his cousin's army. He is going to, the army that I chose is mostly heavy cavalry. The idea is to use them to punch as hard as possible. I understand the Turks have a lot of shooters. They have a lot of artillery and bows and all that sort of thing. So we're going to try to go across the field as quickly as possible, hit them as hard as we can, and try to take them down as quickly as possible. We'll see how it works.
The Hussite army is made up mostly of war wagons and some heavy cavalry. Their commander, ironically enough, is actually wearing the Vlad the Impaler shirt and looks a little bit more like him. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hi, I'm Joe Nacchio. I've been gaming for close to 40 years now. Tonight I'm going to take the Hussites. It is a war wagon heavy army. They're very effective. My plan is to use them as a defensive line, force the Ottomans to advance. Because they have a higher initiative, they have to come and get us. By putting them out of command, it allows me to have each one of my heavy cavalry units in its own separate command. It gives me a lot of flexibility, a lot of movement. Hopefully I can hunt out a flank. I'm hoping there'll be some unwieldy Turkish units that will, paying attention to the wagons or some other unit, will present a flank.
The Ottomans have an almost perfect mixture of cavalry, infantry, and artillery. And I mean artillery. They actually have some cannons there. They also have some pretty good archers. Let's hear from their players.
Hello, I'm Chris. This is my home, and I'm a military wargamer. Been doing it for decades. The goal today is to engage the Moldavians, find their weaknesses, skirmish with them, and then break the army up. Also, we will be keeping an eye on the Hussite arm of the army, since they have some good cavalry and they can do some good counterattacks. So that's the plan.
Hi, my name's Galen. Been wargaming for over 2 decades, and today I'll be playing Armati. I'll be fielding the Ottoman Turks. It looks like I'll be facing against the Hussites most likely, or it could be the Moldavians. If it's the Hussites, they have very good protection in their wagons, so if I can, possibly try and soften up before I can close with my infantry or cav. But most likely I might be holding off and mostly supporting my allies' flank.
The players start out by setting up the table. They all place hills. And then this is something that's unique to Armati. Your setup is done blindly by setting up a large board between the players so they can't see one another. Both sides set up their armies, then the mask is removed. So you had to set up without knowing anything about the enemy's deployment. It looks like the Hussites are creating a really good defensive position with their war wagons, while the Moldavians are setting up to attack. The Ottomans, meanwhile, seem to be setting up a good even line along their front, with their right pulled back a little bit.
And the setup is complete. You've got over there, it's the, what is it again, the Turks?
Ottoman
Turks.
Ottoman
Turks.
Ottoman
Slavery
Turks.
coming to you.
And this is, what again? This is the Hussites?
Hussites.
The Hussites with their incredibly cool war wagons. And over here, Vlad the Impaler with his, I've forgotten what my own army is. Moldavians. Over this way, and they're heavy cavalry, and especially their guys who are being crucified. That's just the most impressive part of this, is their just incredible destructive nature, apparently, which they're going to try. Oh, yes, and their sacrifices.
The warbands are out of command.
Yep, and the warbands are out of command, and the Turks have a lot
I
of
bet Joe was not.
their artillery. They'll be watching for that,
Back that 100%.
and some artillery there. Will be watching for that.
They can't fight. They
To
can
be
shove.
coming at this stuff here. So we'll see how it goes. And the most important of all is the Romanian dice here. It's flamethrower dice, but same diff. Perfect for Vlad the Impaler.
That's pretty much every time anything comes out. I got one flag off the wagon. That's That shit happens.
And the battle continues on, and it looks like the Ottomans are firing from a distance. The Moldavians are pulling back a bit, and the Ottomans are going on the offense. Well, at least on their right flank. Their left flank is wisely staying away from that fortress of war wagons.
And the Turks have begun to move forward because they have the initiative. So the Moldavians and the Hussites can stay back if they want. So you want to call them the Hussies. Anyway, they're the artillery did fire at this light cavalry who was set up a little bit too close. I wonder who did that. So they went running back to protect themselves. And over here, the heavy cavalry was too far away for that artillery to be firing. This artillery fired over here at this war wagon, but was not able to do anything. And that's basically it. All the war wagons are sitting there just waiting for the Turks to come to them. Also, I've got my Vlad hat thanks to our resident Vlad the Impaler, who, for some reason, he has the Vlad shirt and the Vlad mustache and everything.
And even the Vlad cross.
He's like a Vlad the Impaler fan, which makes us very afraid of being his friend for some reason.
Just at night.
No, just at night.
Just as you notice strange holes in his yard, I would be great.
But yet, for some reason, I am the one playing Vlad the Impaler. I'm not quite sure, but at least my hat matches
He doesn't
his.
like you, they're not sharpened.
And the Turks continue to move forward. They have this heavy cavalry right in the center of it. Yeah, sort of. Well, actually, I guess that one is not moving.
They have not moved it up.
They're just sort of sitting back. So, okay, all right, over here, what we have. Who's this general again?
Isn't that an important...
This is Jan Ziska, the blind general.
Jan Ziska. Why is he called the blind general?
Because he was blind.
Because it's wrong?
Well, yeah, but I heard there's something about... Okay, well, that would make sense.
Why was he called the blind general? Because he was blind.
He was blind.
Because he was blind in one eye since childhood, and then during the campaigns he lost the sight in his other eye.
Hey,
Oh.
you got your nachos ready.
No noise that not. All right, and then we got this thing about Vlad is known as inspiring the name for Dracula. What does that got to do with anything?
Very little.
Well, he inspired the name, correct?
Yeah. Well, yes. The Bram Stoker saw the name and liked it, so he used it in Dracula.
And that's really it.
That's the only tie to Vlad the Impaler as being a vampire. Yes.
And then there's a castle called Castle Dracula, but it's not the right one?
No, it's not.
That's a tourist.
It's a tourist trap, basically. Yeah. Panari Castle was actually Dracula's castle.
And why is that? Because he used it when he called himself Dracula, or?
That was actually his castle that he would flee to when the Turks invaded Romania.
Oh.
Which was like a seasonal event.
It was a seasonal event. His province of Wallachia, which is part of Romania.
And since his nickname was Dracula, it's Dracula's castle, kind of?
That's a selling point if you want to buy T-shirts and mugs in Romania, yeah.
and the Turks continued to move up. They got up.
Yeah, I'm moving.
They're not moving much there, but these guys have finally moved.
It's going to take all day to get there, but I'm moving.
We've already done some firing, and these guys have shot these skirmishers off, but they did take out one skirmisher with them. Some shooting's been happening along here, but not much of the shooting has been effective, not even anything over here. Also, the artillery that's up here has shot those guys reloading. They keep trying to shoot over here, haven't hit, but one of this heavy cavalry has been hit by those guys over there, those pesky archers. So the Moldavians have finally moved their heavy cavalry up here, and the Turks are turning tail, or at least their light cavalry turning tail and running. And up here they're actually starting to move. Now you can see that there's a smoke firing because we've already done the firing phase of the following turn. Shooting over here, not a lot is actually being accomplished. All along here, they've already taken out the skirmishers that were in the center there. Over here, they're shot, and between them and the bowmen here, they have taken out these crossbowmen. We just haven't removed them yet. And over here, everything concentrated on this one heavy cavalry, and they took them out. That's two. There's actually a third one that's on there, and they are going to be removed. So there we are. We've already started the next turn. I think it's turn 5. The battle is on. Coming mid-turn, the Moldavians have charged with their heavy cavalry. The Turkish light cavalry is pulling back. What's really important about this is Vlad the Impaler is going in there with them. He's risking himself to make sure they go in. Now this is a veteran heavy cavalry units. They're already up against these Turks with the Santa hats. And they also have some more heavy cavalry in there. So they're already going to be an advantage, but also having Vlad in there, he's going to try to impale them as much as possible. They're also detaching here to go after that light cavalry. We'll see how it works. And it ends in, well, they are in contact currently in melee, but Moldavians have had the better of that particular combat, doing some damage to the Turks right there. I'm going to call them the Santa Turks because of their hats. They still have some people back there. And as far as movement, it's gone along like this. The Moldavians have moved their light cavalry finally up here to start engaging in the center. And along here, there's just some firing going on. And it looks like over there the Hungarians are starting to move some of their...
You've know they're Hussites.
The Hussites. Hussites, Hungarians,
But he's right, because I'm using Hungarian cavalry from Chris's army because we ran out of stuff, so...
Into the shooting phase, and these guys were shot at by all of those, a whole bunch of people around there, and that was their defense dice. 6, 6, 6, 6, and 5. Took one single loss, and I'm getting flipped off here. Flipped the bird here. Everywhere else, they lost the stand.
When I throw the kitchen sink at you, I expect you to get splatted.
Yeah, and that was a lot. I mean, that was them.
I do a good job of that.
They shot. Somebody over there shot. It was just like a whole lot of machine gunning down at them. Nothing. But some shooting over here took out one of these stands. Alright, and the turn is over. It looks like the cavalry's starting to move on the Hussites over there. The fire's coming up over here. And then the melee over here is what's really gotten important. As you can see, the Moldavians are rolling 2s straight across right over here. But they did do some damage to that light cavalry, trying to get out of there. In fact, light cavalry even broke some of their unit half of there. But they brought some heavy cavalry up there as they're doing some damage back to them. This one, the one that Vlad is involved in, won their combat here and did some more damage. Over here, however, they did some damage, but they took some damage and now they have been destroyed. This unit is destroyed, making it so that this next one's going to have to be going up there. And they're getting flanked by some light cavalry that's harassing them on the side. So we're going to be seeing what's happening right over there. Meanwhile, actually, I noticed a couple of things over here about some of these stands. This guy's actually captured a woman and is running off with her, so I think he's already won this battle. This woman right here is fighting with a pan.
Maybe not.
I'm not quite sure. It doesn't seem like very much of a fair fight when you got, what was it, nun-looking people and you got this lady with a pan.
It's too
but
early
at
for
least
French pox.
they're further in the back. I don't know how they managed to impale that guy with, the kind of weapons they have. But anyway, and somehow they got away with that woman, but that's what's going on with their little private melee over there. And the melee continues over here. Over here, they are just trading shots. In fact, he brought in some more light cavalry, and including his commander there, who has the drums, which is pretty cool. They're fighting in there. Over here, we caused this cavalry to break, and so that left Vlad with nothing to do for one turn. But over here, their heavy cavalry caused their cavalry to break, so they are now running. So now you have the Santa Turks running, but also this heavy cav running. Over here, they are staying right where they are. This light cavalry is going to start running across the field, leaving a choice for the Turks to go after them, but they chose not to because you have all this other cavalry that is there set up to basically hit them front and flank if they do, or something like that.
Oh, like we're afraid.
Yeah, they're not afraid. They're afraid of nothing. Meanwhile, over here, there's firing going back and forth. It's kind of like these guys have their turn, then they have their turn back and forth. It's actually hit one of the war wagons one turn. How many does it take that wagon out? Four. Oh, geez. So that's going to be there for a while. In fact, look at all that armor wagon there. Plus, you got the cavalry going around back there. Not a lot happening on that flank, just kind of holding each other. It's all about the left. Interesting turn here. The Hussites are starting to move their cavalry up there, and the Turks are moving to reacting to them over there. In the middle, the shots are continuing to trade back and forth, and over here, they're shooting at the light cavalry, moving across them at that heavy cavalry that's over there. But they're going to get their next turn. Now, here's the most important thing: the Moldavians, if they lose one more unit, they are out of this game. And so, with 2 units on them and 2 hits already, one more hit will take them out, and they got the 6 to go against both of those units. And what do the other units come out with? 1 and 1. And in fact, they almost lost the drummer general there. I'm going to call him General...
Little drummer boy.
The General Little Drummer Boy. I was thinking more along the lines of Genesis, but oh well. Anyway, alright, so he has actually done damage to both of them. And the light cavalry came around here to the back of this heavy cavalry. The heavy cavalry answered back to them with a 5 against a 2. And over here, the Mr. Spiky Face himself, he has gotten a 5 against them. He's also one that's a threat if he gets taken out. That's another point against the Moldavians. But now he has done a damage against them as well. So the Moldavians are actually holding off here. If they get one more damage, they're gone. But they are holding against the Turks. We'll see what the future holds. And the Hussite cavalry is just about to reach the Turks. They are going to have two dramatic clashes here. There's going to be two big cavalry charges. But the game has ended because the Moldavian cavalry, the light cavalry, has gone. They were rushing towards that flank over there, but they got hit by musketeers at their side. Actually, it's a mistake on my part. For some reason, I thought the muskets shot every other turn. Turns out they shoot every single turn, and apparently Moldavians thought that too, and they got shot on the side. But apparently muskets were new to the time, so hey, I guess that's the excuse we're going to go with. They just didn't know. Anyway, the fight continued over here. The Moldavians were doing a bit more damage to them. Almost killed General Phil Collins back there, but didn't quite manage to do it. Well, back here, they did manage to make the light cavalry break, and they are running for their lives. Over here, Vlad is continuing to push his heavy cavalry there, has caused their cavalry to break. Actually, they were doing very well all along this line and might have managed to do it, but apparently he really liked that light cavalry that got hit and destroyed and run away, and so he said, screw this, we're out of here, we're going home. And that would have caused the Hussites also to go back, and so that ends the battle.
Ottoman Commander number 1, the general philosophy was here, what was the hill going to do, how was the Moldavian commander going to set up his forces, the concerns there. I went heavy on the flank here, hoping to go around the hill. When it got exposed, he was heavy over here, so we basically, it was then a skirmish, go up, skirmish, he came out, kind of per plan, came out, started shooting him up. As he continued to advance, shooting him up, hitting him, and chewing him up piecemeal. And then the light cav was bonus, watching him come up and get shot up. So that part of the plan actually is a reactionary plan. So that's what the Turks do a lot, reactionary.
And shoot.
I was facing the Hussites, so the biggest worry is their wagons because of their great protection against fire. I tried to soften them up all game long, didn't happen. So for the most part, I was protecting my allies' flank.
I was the Hussite commander. My strategy was just kind of to hold the flank and hopefully maybe keep the attention of the Ottoman cavalry at bay over here. I know he had more units than me. Probably in retrospect, I should have just ignored that flank, put all my cavalry in the center, and flooded the center to help Jeff with the battle that went on over here. The wagons probably could have just held their own by themselves. So kind of wasted an opportunity there. A whole lot of nothing happened on that flank, basically.
Well, didn't go as well as I had hoped. Actually, we kind of held back and tried to let them come forward, hoping maybe they would make a mistake or something like that, have a better way to hit them harder. Unfortunately, the plan didn't quite work. They kind of came forward and picked us off a little bit before we went in there, so we went in a little bit weaker than we should have. And I made the fatal mistake of thinking that the musket guys were only shooting every other turn, so I ran light cavalry right in front of them to try to get a flank. But unfortunately, they shoot every single turn. They took that out. That ended the game for me. But it was very fun. I've been seeing Armati played for years, never got to play it. So I'll come back stronger next time, hopefully. That'll do it for us here at Command Combat Battle Reports. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and happy gaming, everybody.